Oh hi, I'm Eva. Today we're going to go over my top 10 skincare products and tools that I've been using. We are in my bathroom because I felt like, hey, last time I did it in my bathroom, let's do it again. I like the vibe. Yeah. Before we get into the products, I should say, yes, I know there's foundation on my face. My friend FaceTimed me and she got new makeup and she's like, let's do makeup. And I was like, hell yeah, feels like high school. Love hanging out with you. Let's do our makeup together via FaceTime. So that happened. That being said though, my skin has actually gotten a lot better over the last, I'd say, month that I've been doing this all together. I realize that I'm going to throw a lot of stuff at you and you might be like, that's too many products to be using. On the daily, yes, I kind of have a schedule for when I use what. My focuses for my skincare are anti-acne. I want to get rid of it. Like, this foundation doesn't have a lot of coverage, so you can see, like, I have a little bit here, two little spots over here, a little spot up here. Not terrible for my skin, in fact, that's actually really good for my skin. But getting rid of acne and being more preventative about aging. Yes, I realize we're all supposed to age gracefully into the world, but we also know that women get judged really harshly for having wrinkles, and we judge ourselves really harshly for having wrinkles, and if we're gonna be honest, I smoked for a decade, so I'm kind of falling behind. When I smile, I always get little lines. I get the little lines up here. I'm seeing these getting carved into my face. Though admittedly they look like happy lines, like, oh, she smiles a lot, which is probably the best kind of wrinkle to have. I want them to not wrinkle until I'm like 45. Like, if I got wrinkles at 45, I mean, I've made it pretty well. Okay, let's get into the products. The first one, I have very little evidence to support that it actually is doing things beneficial to my skin, but it has been very good for keeping me awake in the afternoons. I've been dieting, I cut out the sugar and the caffeine, and it is killing me. I'm always tired. I also cut down a lot of calories that I didn't need, but my body seems to think are irreplaceable. Anyways, spraying myself in the face with this, and it's a combination of things. A, the scent is both bracing and comforting, which might sound odd, but it is. It kind of hits you in the nose and you're like, oh, that's there. And then you're like, oh, but it's kind of pleasant. I like this. B, spraying this across your face has that physical reaction of like, there is a cold thing on my face. I am more aware now. And C, I mean, it does have aloe and rose water. Like, I feel like it's probably doing something. The last thing about it though, actually, I don't know if I've said its name yet, Mario Badescu facial spray. I also use this as a setting spray because there's no alcohol in it, and that way my face doesn't get like really angry about the foundation and all the things on it as they get sucked through with alcohol. So, really good buy. The second thing was 100% spurned by the first thing, and it is the Mario Badescu Super Collagen Mask. It goes on green, it dries really white, it feels really tight on your skin, it can be kind of uncomfortable to wear. But when you look through what's in it, collagen being a fibrous protein that is naturally found in the body, as well as things like zinc oxide and oats and kaolin and, you know, collagen itself, cellulose gum, like all of these things have reactions on the human skin and in the human skin. Do I think that this alone would change your entire life? No. Does it feel really productive to have it on and relax while it's doing its work? Yeah, like once a week, which is how often I do this. I'm gonna move on to a daily use item here, and you can laugh at me, it's okay, but it's this very particular brand of sunscreen. Yes, it's only SPF 60. Realistically, when you look at SPF, it's more about time than it is about coverage. It's kind of complicated. If you look it up, you look into how sunscreen actually works, I think most people, myself included, were very misinformed in how sunscreen actually worked, so look it up, you will learn a lot. I chose this particular one because A, it has UVB and UVA coverage, which, you know, melanoma, wrinkles, sun tanning, all of it together, I'm good, I don't want it. The other reason I bought it is because it said it had an ultra lightweight feel, and I was like, that sounds promising because my skin breaks out at everything. I have to be very careful what products I use. You guys have seen many times that when I'm trying new products, I get really bad breakouts. This stuff, on the other hand, has never caused a pimple for me. It protects my skin beautifully. The next thing here is a tool. It's also kind of preventative, but it's also because I like ultra hydration in my skin. It is a microneedling derma roller. I use this twice a week. This is not a daily thing. It should never be a daily thing. Do not microneedle your face every day. They are said to help with collagen production and acne and fine lines and all these things, and I was like, okay, I like this. I like the acne. I like the anti-aging properties here. I don't want fine lines. What will it also do for me? Oh, it'll help absorb hyaluronic acid into the dermis. Awesome. That's exactly what I want. So twice a week I do the whole skitchity all over, not the eyes. You do not do the eyes. I do just across the brow bone, but I don't go below the bone because that's way too close. And this skin will not tolerate needles. Trust me, do not try it. Please don't. It's not safe. Actually, companies don't even recommend going this high. So I shouldn't either. Don't do what I do. I feel that I've seen significant difference with this. I feel that my skin is just happier. Mornings after when I've used this and then put on hyaluronic acid, it's almost like the density of my skin has changed. Like it just feels so healthy and good. I love it. Do I think that everyone needs to use this, especially at my age? No, of course not. I'm just trying to be really preventative. There is a downside to using it, and that's that you do have to wipe your face with isopropyl alcohol, which dries it out. And I don't really like putting alcohol on my face, but sometimes I have to because A, I have acne, and B, I don't want to get a bacterial infection from a needle or from skin that is not properly sterilized. Even using the alcohol, I find after doing it and putting on the hyaluronic acid, my skin is plumper than it's ever been from a single product. So I don't think it's causing me any harm, and I think it's doing me a lot of good. If you are interested in using one, please do your research. Please really look into it and don't start with deep needles. Like, there's a reason why dermatologists use the deep needles that make you bleed. There's a reason why at home you do not use deep needles, and you should not see bleeding at home from this product. If you're doing that, it's too hard, it's wrong. You should not be bleeding. Since I just mentioned it, hyaluronic acid. This is not actually my favorite hyaluronic acid, but my favorite is incredibly expensive. It's La Roche-Posay. It's expensive. So I found this one, which is avocado oil and hyaluronic acid. Honestly, I don't see a lot of difference between this one and La Roche-Posay's when it comes to what it does to my skin, but I will admit theirs does smell better. And theirs feels a little more like a thinner oil, where this feels a little bit heavier. That being said, I really do enjoy this. I mean, it's lasted me a long time. I'm down to my last quarter of the bottle, and I've had it for 9-10 months. We're going to another product that I consider to be preventative, but other people might not. And that is that eye makeup remover you see in like Save on Foods and superstores. I was a little apprehensive. I was like, is this really gonna work? Yeah, it does. It's a waterproof makeup remover. I don't have a lot of waterproof makeup. In fact, I only have one thing that is, but it is impossible to get off, and it's a Marcel's mascara, which is really good. I love it. It's hyperallergenic. Impossible to get off, and I don't like scrubbing at my eyes. I don't like pulling. I don't like it. So using these, I can just let it sit, it soaks for a moment, and I slide it off and the makeup comes off with it. I think that is more than worth having it. Obviously, sometimes you have to stretch your eyes, but avoiding it is generally a good idea. Actually, I should say the name of it, shouldn't I? It is Andrea's IQ Waterproof Eye Makeup Remover Pads. It's a long name, but they're inexpensive. Like, you get a lot in here. You get 78 pads in here. So if you have waterproof makeup and you're finding that you're scrubbing, this stuff will work. I know a lot of people use coconut oil. I used to, but then I started getting styes, and my dermatologist told me to stop putting things like coconut oil and George's cream on my face. So I listened to her and stopped. This next thing I know you guys have seen from me before, and this one is actually almost empty. I've just got like 1 or 2 days worth left. But it is a blackhead astringent. Essentially, this is the alcohol I put on my face every day, and then I moisturize the bejesusness. It is a salicylic acid. It is to help reduce acne. No, it won't do anything for anti-aging, but I would like to not have so many angry parts of my face. It's inexpensive. It gets the job done. What more do you need? Okay, this one you're allowed to make fun of me for because it is a Mary Kay product and it is the Time Wise. It's an exfoliator. Once again, this is not one I use daily. This is like a once-a-week treatment to really slough off dead skin. They call it microderm abrasion. I'm not sure if I would call it that, though it does feel similar. It's so fine particle. I've never gotten any tears, like noticeable tears, like, what is it, this one? I can use this one on my hands, the St. Ives. I cannot use this on my face. It cuts my face. But this one does not cut my face. It gets the dead skin off really nicely, especially in areas where I have a hard time doing it with the cloth, where I can like kind of scrub with the little particles, and ta-da! Again, it lasts forever because I don't use it often, but when I do use it, it always does its job. I don't think you can just buy Mary Kay. I think you have to buy it from a Mary Kay lady. So if you know anybody who sells Mary Kay that you want to support, buy this product. The next one here, I'm 100% sure I've talked about before. Still love it. Still in love with it. We'll be in love with it until I find something even greater than it. At that point, I will tell you. But it's the Body Shop Night Mask Tea Tree. I am wearing this more and more because I'm trying to be much more consistent with my skin products at night. I know during the day I'm very consistent, and then I go to bed and maybe I don't moisturize, or maybe I don't put a mask on, and I realize that that is damaging my potential to have healthier, happier skin. So I have committed to using this nightly. It is a fairly inexpensive product. You do get a fair amount in the jar. It's 75 grams, 2.6 fluid ounces, under $30. I mean, I've been using it for longer than I can remember, and I've never had to buy a second jar. A little goes a really long way with it. It will feel a little cooling on your skin. The smell will be strong in the first minute, but it'll fade away. You won't smell it by the time you make your way to your bedroom, kind of idea. They call it anti-perfection. I call it perfection. That leaves us to my last acne product, which is another Clean and Clear product because honestly they're inexpensive and they work. This one is a benzoyl peroxide, and if you are familiar with benzoyl peroxide, it does dry out a lot of people's skin. If you have sensitive skin like mine, it can cause a lot of drying. Once again, this is a once a week product for me. I do not use it as a cleanser, I use it as a mask. I lather it onto my face, I let it sit for a few minutes. There is definitely some stinging, it feels a little uncomfortable. And the reason I do the mask is because benzoyl peroxide is able to penetrate the lipids in your skin, which means that it can physically get down into pores, and it's an antibacterial, it kills bacteria. So to let it sit on my face for a few minutes is actually more effective than just to wash very quickly with it, or at least I have found it to be. I really love doing it. I take a bubble bath, I do my little mask, and I know I've said a lot of these things are once a week, twice a week things. I should really write them down at this point as to what days for what, but I kind of have it in my head when I do things, and if in doubt, I don't do a treatment that night because I don't want to overdo it to my skin. I don't know, I found that it's really helped with the blackheads. I feel that it's actually a very good product. A little drying, but I also use a bejesus amount of moisturizers. Believe it or not, there are actually more products that I like to talk about, but I realize that's probably enough for the day. I did say top 10, so I'm going to stick to it. If you use any of these products, please let me know. Like, how do you use them? Do you use them daily? Do you use them weekly? Do you use microneedling? I would love to know if other people are doing this at home. I imagine people are, but I'd like to know. If you have any tips or tricks with any of the products I've mentioned or ones like it, please share them. I would like everyone to gain information and knowledge from this experience. And as always, I'm Eva. If you guys like the video, please hit like, comment down below, and hit subscribe so I can see you next time.